Hi, this is Bridget Willard here with BridgetWillard.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about time blocking, boundaries, and bad clients. So, before we get into the actual tutorial, one of the most important parts about time blocking is the fact that you are establishing boundaries. Boundaries for yourself, boundaries for your business. Um, the worst clients are the ones who control you. Now, I'm a huge fan of metaphors, known for mixing my metaphors. I love analogies, but I will mix them. So that's your warning and my disclaimer. Baseball is the only sport where the play starts with the defense holding possession of the ball, right? So the pitcher is trying to get you to strike out. How many opportunities do you have before you don't get to play anymore, where you don't get to be at bat? Three. Three chances, three strikes, right? You can swing, you can hit, you can, but you only have three strikes and then you're out. And we say this a lot, but if it works in baseball, it should work in real life, right? Right. So, clients who try to rule you with notifications, phone calls, emails, text, voicemail, you know what? The thing that you need to realize is stay calm, stay collected, look forward, right? Keep your eye literally on the ball, which is whatever you're doing at that moment, right? When you're playing baseball, or the best baseball players, listen, the best baseball players, the best, only do it right 34% of the time, okay? But they're not thinking about their girlfriend. They're not thinking about their kids. They're not thinking about what they're going to eat for dinner. They're focused solely on what's in front of them and what their goal is. Their goal is to hit the ball in such a way that they can land on a base or circle all four. It depends on the strategy of the entire game, determined by the coach, right? So, your life should not be ruled by notifications. Notifications are interruptions. Bad clients who demand you to act now, who kind of throw a fit and threaten you if you don't act now, those are bad clients. The worst clients sometimes in our life are children, friends, your partner, roommates. It's up to us to decide what our boundaries are, to use the most powerful word in the English language, which is no. It could be polite, right? I'm not going to tell you how to parent, but I would just look at behaviorism and psychology. If you do X, Y is your consequence. Blocking out your time allows other people to have a routine and to set expectations. Now, I went astray from this when I first was widowed because I was glad to spend time with anybody. Oh, you want to go to the beach? Sure, I'll do my stuff later. And what devolved was guilt, shame, me feeling stressed out, anxiety on my part. The person who interrupted me, and interruption isn't necessarily a negative thing, but their interruption was allowed by me. As Mel Robbins always says, you train people how to treat you. So I had to say no. One of my friends was very upset. She said, when can we go to lunch? I said, we could go to lunch on Saturday. And she said, well, when are you available? I said, let's make an appointment. And she said, are you telling me that I have to make an appointment to have lunch with you? And I just turned around and I said, because it was with a group of friends, I said, yeah, yes, you do. That's my life. I'm responsible to get my work done to the people who pay my bills, which are my clients, the good ones, right? So, yeah, she's upset. And yes, I've missed out on lunches, but my responsibility as a freelancer, as an employee, as a business owner, whatever your role is to accomplish the goals set out before you and to create reasonable amounts of time. Whatever you think it's going to take you, you have to add time. When I was a secretary for 30 years. I had to plan to be interrupted because my job was to respond to the boss right away or answer the phone on the first ring. It took me years before I didn't do this, you know? So take it to the next level, which is this. And oh, just because somebody's talking to me, do I have to respond to them now? No. No, I don't. This doesn't rule my life. I make my own decisions. And my husband used to say that, my late husband used to say this: the phone doesn't rule me. I rule it. This is a tool to accomplish your goals. So one of the things I do when I'm writing or doing deep work is I put it on silent and then I put it in my bedroom. This is because my office is out here in the front room. So whatever kind of way you can establish your routines that protects your boundaries and people know that you're not we're going to respond to them. And people would say to me, I see you on Facebook. Why aren't you answering my message? And I would say this: because I'm on Facebook for a client, right? So the other key component to time blocking, so there are three major things to time blocking that matter. Number one, protecting your boundaries. So that's after you time block. And being prepared to say no and having people be really upset with you, including children or spouses. Number two is actually timing yourself. You don't have to do it every day, but take one typical day and see how long it takes for you to do a certain task. Then add kind of some buffer time. That's to use the bathroom, get something to drink, whatever. Okay? And the third thing is self-awareness. Self-awareness is huge. When are you at your best? There's a video I'll link to this that Chris Lema just put out. Not all hours are equal. And he's right. So back when I was doing accounting work as an office manager, I did all of that in the morning because that's when I worked the best. Historically, as a child, I've always been a morning person, but then life happened. I went to college, I started working, then it was just, I'm a tired pigeon or whatever, right? So I know I take that same awareness. My best hours are from 10 to 2. Those are my best hours for being with clients because that's when I'm at my highest capacity. So between 10 and 2 is 80% of my client calls, unless they're in another time zone, which happens rarely, but it happens. I do not schedule calls or on my Calendly link allow calls to be scheduled after 2 p.m. except for on Tuesdays and Thursdays. No client can get a call with me by them scheduling it before 10 a.m. My best editing is between 9 and 11 a.m. and maybe 4 to, so I don't have children, so I don't have that after school thing. But, I do kind of get a second wind, not really from 4. I try to end my day at 5. We'll go through that. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video because I want to show you how I do it because I got some questions on Instagram. But I get a second wind at 7 p.m. sometimes. So it just depends on yourself. So try to get a journal or a notepad. Anything will work, and write down how you're feeling at certain times of the day. I use a paper calendar. I literally use a paper calendar and I write in it. This is for client stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, you see that I have a paper calendar in my bedroom that I keep track of my exercise on. Yes, of course, I use Google. It's all in here too. I mean, my tasks aren't in here, but my appointments are in here. My weight is in here, my exercises on Google Calendar, and my appointments are on Google Calendar, but sometimes the tasks are everywhere. So it's the main thing about having a tool, because a lot of people, I have tools, that I use and that I sell, but here's the bottom line. The only tool that will work for you is the tool that you consistently use. You can listen to all the advice in the world, but if you don't do it and implement it, it will not work. Okay, lecture over. Let's do some time blocking, and I will show you in Google Sheets basically what's in my brain on how I rule my life on a typical week. This can be applied to Google Calendar or paper calendar, iCal, any kind of appointment scheduling system, whatever works for you. But this will help you see and visualize for yourself how you spend your time. So having that next level audit of how you actually spend your time when you're writing down, okay, at 8 o'clock I did this, 9 o'clock I did this, at 3 o'clock every day my one kid is irritating the crap out of me. That's when you go, okay, this is a pain point. We need to do something different at 2:30 so that we prevent the 3 o'clock annoyance, right? And I'm a big, big believer in prevention. Okay, that's 12 minutes of me lecturing. Let's go to the actual work. Okay, so if you take a Google sheet, and I will zoom in on this so it's easier to see. And then what you're going to do is you'll go, I'm going to put the weekends at the end because I want to focus on the weekends together as a block. But Monday, Tuesday, oops, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I love Saturdays. Okay, now here's the time. So it's the best thing is just to go like just do it by hour, right? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. See if I think that if you highlight them, if you block them out both, it will let you. Yeah, now it's in military time. That's fine. Well, format, number, time. Okay, there we go. Now it's not in military time. And I'll drag it down a little bit more like that. Okay. So every morning at 7 o'clock, my alarm goes off. This is when I take my medication and when I check social media. So I'm going to write in here, wake up, meds, and check notifications, social notifications. Now I do that for about an hour. Sometimes I go back to sleep. This is every single day. So I'm going to fill this with a color. I'm going to fill it with yellow because good morning. Okay, so I do that every single day for about an hour. Sometimes I take my meds, I wake up, take my meds, and then check my notifications, go back to sleep because this is my second alarm, right? My second alarm's at 8 o'clock. This is when I eat breakfast. Now, Saturdays and Sundays are different, so I'm not going to fill those out yet. This is when I eat breakfast, drink coffee, and, second cup of coffee, sorry. Shower, dress. Okay, so this is coffee. Sorry, that's like really important. So this is Monday through Friday, always. And I did deviate from this. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but when I deviated from it, I had trouble. Okay. Like it was not good for me. 9 o'clock, this is when my workday starts. My workday is basically from 9 to 5. Now, that might not work for you. That's fine. You might only be able to work till 2, then the kids are off school, or if you're homeschooling for COVID or any other reason, that's break time, and then you start working again at 10 o'clock at night, that's fine. I'm telling you what I do so that you can see the difference. 9 a.m., this is when I sit at my computer, I go through my emails. Okay, so I'm at my desk, go through email, and start my writing tasks. So I'm a social media marketer, but I also do consultant work, right? So sometimes I do a lot of copy editing. So copy editing is like, that's work for me, right? So I always do that then. So between 10 and 11, this is when I do my free work, like client work, or client calls. Work, client calls. So I'm going to fill this in with red, because red to me is like client stuff, So I have a good 3 hours of work every single day, right? Now, in between there, of course, I go to the bathroom and I get something to drink. But that, this is basically, I'm giving you an outline. Noon. Noon is lunch. Noon is always lunch. If I don't make this lunch, then I get really hungry, and then I get really upset that I'm not eating, because, lunch is important to me. I'm hypoglycemic. I need to eat. So I used to just eat and then go back to work, and I'm like, no, because that was the bad habits I had when I was at the office, eating at my desk. So make sure to make your eating different. Maybe go on a walk, go out to eat, not with friends, because that's always 2 or 3 hours. Or whatever. If you want to have an hour and a half of a lunch every day, that's fine. But this is what I do. I either eat at my table or I take it in the other room. And one of the things sometimes I do is in my bedroom, is because that's where my TV is. The subtitles for this are going to be terrible. I will go in my bedroom, eat my lunch, or after I eat my lunch, I'll watch a program. This is how I make sure I get enough of a break. Okay? Then from 1 to 2, it's the same as this. Client work, client calls. So, but I don't do writing here. This is more like, I do some writing. That's not true. I do some writing here. It's about the same, because 10 to 2 is my sweet spot. That's when I can do the best work, the best. Right after lunch, though, I always check notifications and stuff like that. So I'm going to add another thing in here, that first I check notifications on social. So I have things scheduled out for my clients, but the first thing I do after lunch, just like when I wake up at 7, is check notifications on social media, okay? Now, I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to add insert row above 2:30. That was the post office. Nap. This is the best thing that I've ever done for myself in my whole life. Nap time. And it's possible that you're like, oh, I can't take a nap. I don't have time to take a nap, whatever. Do whatever you want. This half hour, what I do is I go into my bedroom, I close the drapes. I take off my glasses. I turn on my piano music. I lay down and I close my eyes. I set a timer for 20, 25 minutes. Okay? So I maybe don't fall asleep, but what I'm doing is allowing my body to rest. I'm allowing my mind to rest. Okay. So actually, that's a really good point. So at 8 o'clock, before I eat breakfast, is I make my bed and I open the curtains if they're not. This tells me, this is like a visual thing for me, that like, okay, my day started. This matters. And every time I walk by my bedroom to the restroom, I see, oh my gosh, my bedroom is so cute. So now we're in the afternoon. We got 2:30. We have an hour and a half between 1 and 2:30. Then we have a 2:30 nap. Now I have another 2 hours. So this extra 2 hours, 3 to 5, this is when I do kind of maintenance type things. I usually don't have calls. This is when I kind of take a break, right? So, but I still work. So this is when I'll do low, like end of day work. So we're talking about going in the home feed and replying, like things like that. This is when I do this in the afternoon. Curating tweets for clients. I do this in the afternoon. Sometimes sometimes I do some editing, maybe, very rare. And I make a to-do list for the next day. Okay, so this I need to kind of make a different color and let it wrap. Let's see. Edit, format, merge cells, format, wrap, let them align to the top. And let's make it a color, kind of end of day color, like that. Okay, so I'm like awake, super awake. These are my really good hours. Oh, I forgot. I do one thing right here. Insert row above. This is an important time. Let's go like this. Let's see. No, not that color. How about this color? I do my 10:30, 10:45 break, because I'm still a human. So sometimes I sit on my patio, like that. So why is okay, there we go. So I have a good solid 5 hours of work. Like if I was an employee, this is my 8 hours, 9 to 5, right? But toward the end of the day, when I know I'm kind of like, that's when I kind of wind down on things, So then you're like, okay, so dinner, right? And then one of the things I've been doing is, oops, no, that was right. One of the things I've been doing is turning off the TV at 8:30. This has been about protecting my sleep. I do this every day because I was having some ridiculously difficult TV issues. So I try to eat dinner. On the weekends, it's a little different, but I try to eat dinner around 6. Again, I'm hypoglycemic, so it's really important for me to eat at a normal time. So now I have kind of my schedule. So before COVID, Monday is karaoke, and that starts at 9. So if I go, then it's 9. I try not to be too late. I try to be like 9 to 10:30, like that. Tuesday, I don't really do anything. Wednesday is trivia, which is 8 to 11. But we have to drive there, so it's usually like 7 to 11. So like this is trivia right here. It's a different, totally fun thing. I like to make my fun things like yellow, So then Thursday, I don't really do that much. And then let's see. Let's do something really quick. Freeze. Okay, that'll let me. Okay. So Friday, okay, Friday is different. And I wanted to save this. So this whole part right here is different. Oops. Dang it. Okay. Reset. Friday's different. And I'll tell you how. So Friday, I'm on a podcast. Friday from 9 to 10 is podcast. Oops. So 10 o'clock, I don't do anything. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything else. But I still do my patio. 11 o'clock to noon. That's like the only time I do client work, and then I do my lunch. Now, what's different from 1 to 2 is this is my blogging time. This is the 2 hours I work on my business. So if I have already made a video or edited a current piece of content or made a landing page, anything published for my business before Friday, then this is free time. And then I take Friday afternoons off. If I haven't done it, then this is the time I block out. So no, I don't do anything here, nothing. It's nothing. So this I probably should have, I messed it up because I don't do anything right here. And if I merged all those cells, blah, blah, blah. And this video is really long, I'm sorry. I don't know if will it let me unmerge? Okay, there you go. So Friday, this is, no. So let's see. Oh my gosh, see, this is what happens when I do things that are live recorded and committed to. Okay, so this is still merged though. Those Monday through Thursday, that's what I do. So because I worked in a office for so long, I really, really liked the idea of having Friday afternoons off. So this is off. This is off. I'm not doing anything here. I'm going happy hours. What's happening? That's, that's really, it's my time, whatever. So block that as yellow and, move on with your life. So the weekends, one of the things that's really important, I had to learn this kind of the hard way, is the weekend should be a little bit different. But because I work a half day on Friday, I like to work a half day on Saturday. So this is all the same. This is still the same. I'm still dressing and showering and doing all this, basically these same hours. Saturdays for pancakes. Okay. So but Sundays is when I do some more editing work. So I do editing. So it's this color. I do some editing, between these times, after I eat my pancakes, like 10, And then same thing from 1 to 2. Oops, let's just copy that. Editing or missed client work, miscellaneous client work. So that goes down. Format, blah, 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 merge, format. I know I could have done this ahead, but then it wouldn't show you really how to block out your time. I'm still having lunch basically at the same time because hypoglycemic. Okay, so then, I do whatever I want. Sunday, one of the things I've been doing Sunday nights is a bath with Radiohead. I know that's why I said I like gimmicks. It's not always Radiohead. Sometimes it's the Milk Carton Kids or Ryan Montblau or Van Morrison. But basically, it's a time for me to, reflect and spend some, reflect on my life, reflect on my day. I'll move my head up here. So here you have it. So I'm going to zoom out. There's my day. And you can see how the time blocking works. Like that's what's in my head. That's how I do it. So it depends on what you want. What are your goals? What do you want to have to happen with your life? Sundays, it's whatever I want to do. And it's up to you how you want to live your life. But this is how I live. And I don't have this spreadsheet. Clearly, I had to make it. This is what's in my head. This is how I do it. But as you do this, and this is an important thing, as you build your time blocking, and I do apologize, this is so long. As you build your time blocking, don't be afraid to audit and edit it. You're not me, and I'm not you. Maybe the thought of starting work at 9 a.m. makes you wonder if you should even be a business owner. I don't care when you start whenever, but make it the same. If you have children and they have sports schedules and things like that, then take advantage of those times when they're gone, or build it in your calendar that you're not available. And then that helps you see that your time is valuable, that you have a schedule that matters, and that you teach everyone around you, including yourself, to respect the value of your time, and that your time is important. I hope this helps you. Again, I apologize it's so long. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or find me on Twitter. Bye.